Hello, everybody. It looks like I am live. Let me put on some more light. Hello, everyone. I am live. So, hello, everybody. How are you? How's everybody going? This live today is about what is your superpower. So, what's your superpower? I'm sitting here today and this is my chill day because I did a live event this weekend, and typically when I do 2-day live events, I take Monday off because I'm typically off on Monday. So today I decided to come live because I want to start coming live more, especially right now I'm live on YouTube as well. And if you're watching me on TikTok, make sure that you tap that screen for me, and then take a minute, trail on into my bio and click on my YouTube channel and subscribe there, because I have so many videos. I think I have about over 1,000 videos, I think, on there. Talking mostly about intuition and manifestation, law of attraction, and all of that kind of stuff. Hey, Rakinia, thank you for joining. Do me a favor and tap that screen for me. Give me some of those likes so I can continue to keep coming on here, because that is one of the things that I do enjoy. What kind of music do y'all like? Like right now, I have some jazz playing in the background. I have iHeartRadio on my TV, and so I put some jazz on because I love jazz, right? Jazz is so amazing. It's one of those things that, I put on a lot of times to meditate. And I know a lot of people, say things like, and I heard it this weekend, I can't meditate. And so I like to talk a lot about how to meditate too, because I think that meditation is hella important for us. And so many times we have not gotten that instruction, and we haven't gotten the fact that meditation is so helpful. And a lot of times, I know I learned to meditate from my grandmother. And y'all, she was a pastor. I do pregnancy questions. I mean, I can, like I said, I'm not ever perfect about that, and those are really hard to say, but if you ask it and if something flows through, then I'll give it to you. No problem. But the thing about pregnancy too is it's one of those things that, doctors tell people they can't have kids and all kind of stuff, and then next thing you know, they're popping out 2 and 3 and 4 puppies, or they were able to have one child or whatever. So it's that, to me, is such a personal thing, because I know that I have been around a lot of people that had problems and difficulties having kids. I had one young lady that I used to work with, and she told me that she couldn't have kids. She was 20, in her 20s, and she said she couldn't have kids. The doctor had told her she couldn't have kids. She was Latino, and not that makes a difference, but I'm just describing the situation. So she was a young girl. I loved her. She's such a sweetheart. We used to work together at this place. We did night shift, and so her boyfriend had come home, and she was getting ready to get married to him. He was working overseas in like Afghanistan or one of those places over there where the money was good at that time. Okay, so you, yeah, now those I don't do. But I'm gonna tell you, you can actually get that yourself. So one of the things I'm gonna share is how I did it. For me, I knew both of my kids' sex. I don't know, when I think about it now, I know that was one of my superpowers that I didn't know I had. So that's kind of back to what we're talking about. That was one of the superpowers I didn't know I had. I went to sleep, and I just allowed. I asked the question, of course, because that's what you do. You ask the question before you go to sleep, and then you connect with your breath. You take some time and you allow. it to come in. And typically when people do that, they do get the answer. They do get the answer that, oh, they're having a boy or they're having a girl or whatever, and I know that can be a challenge, especially if you already have like, one of the same sex, like a couple. Like I know people that, they had three boys and then they had finally got a girl and they were so nervous and so uptight and wondering whether they were going to get a girl or if they had to keep trying, if that was something that they desired. I didn't have that. I believe that I didn't have that because God knew I couldn't do a whole lot of kids. And I never really actually wanted a whole lot of kids anyway. I honestly, truly, if I'm being honest, I didn't want no kids. I had taken care of my mama's kids, other people's kids, my aunt's kids, they all dumped all those kids on me a lot of times when I was young. So I didn't really want none, but I ended up having two. And I was able to, and I had a boy and a girl. I had a girl and a boy. So all of that. However, you know, you can get that information. You can connect and get it for yourself. And that's one of the things that I like to help people to do, to connect and get the information for yourself. Because yes, I can connect and more than likely get it. It's possible. Like I said, nobody's perfect, and I'm never going to say that. However, you can get it for yourself. You can take some time, like I said, before you go to sleep, especially, is a really good time. Um, it depends on what the situation is. I mean, I like Aquarius people. I'm not deep, deep, deep into astrology, so I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't even pretend to know. I'm like everybody else with astrology. I Google because I just I wasn't able to keep it in my head when I was trying to study this stuff because I've been on this path and this journey for a few years now. And when I started trying to study it, y'all, I had to release some limiting beliefs because I was raised so Pentecostal and so religious, and so I had a lot of limiting beliefs around astrology and numerology and the tarot and different things like that. And so that's one of the things that I had started unpacking because I had to get that together because I just didn't know. And like I said, and I so much they told us that so much of that was the devil, and that, we were gonna go to hell and and then even when I started doing a lot of lives and stuff, especially I was on Facebook a lot. I'm on YouTube as well. I still get people every now and again that come on my stuff and tell me that I'm Satan or I'm the devil or whatever. The difference is now I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I can say what they want to say. I'm going to be who I'm going to be. That's just what I am. And if they don't want to watch, and that's what I usually say, if you don't want to watch, you don't want to listen or whatever, then get the fuck on because you can keep scrolling there. I mean, there's many people that you can listen to and many people that you can watch. We have all these platforms, like I have Facebook, I have YouTube, I have Alignable, I have LinkedIn, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have what's that other one? Fan base or something like that. I can think of it. But so many different platforms that you can be on. So you don't like to listen to me, you're not keen on what I'm saying. Fuck it, don't listen. Keep scrolling and go do something different. That means that I'm not your person, and that's okay with me. So thank y'all for joining the live on TikTok. Make sure that you are tapping that screen for me. Give me some of those likes. I appreciate it. But I wanted to kind of talk about the superpowers because so many times we have superpowers that we have no idea that we have. And then what happens is it begins to hit us in different ways at different times. Like for me, I found out really recently that I have been claircognizant all my life. I just know things that other people don't know, and sometimes things just pop in my head. And so I realized this just the other day, really, after all of this time, y'all, I'm 55 years old. I turned 55 on last Wednesday on the 1st. And so I realized that all of a sudden, I realized I could know things. and I always have. And I think about when I was growing up, they used to tell me, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, you're doing too much, all these different type of things. Oh, y'all, I got to show y'all this necklace. So y'all see this necklace that I have? It is sapphire and copper. And let me show y'all over here on YouTube. It's sapphire and copper. And my daughter-in-law got it for me for my birthday. And it was so amazing because I did not even expect it. And when it came, it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I was so excited, that she actually thought enough of me to get me this beautiful, beautiful necklace. So anyway, that's my tip. And if you're on here and, it's still my birthday season. So if you're on here and you want to drop me a Cash App, I think Cash App is in my bio. But if not, it's my name, Tammy Morrison. Cash App, Tammy Morrison, with the dollar sign in front of it. So again, thank y'all for hanging out. If you would tap the screen, that would help me greatly. So again, sometimes you have, things that you are so gifted in that people come to you for. Like I know people that can, they're plant mamas, and they can work with plants and this kind of stuff, and they grow them and they're beautiful and they have whole gardens and stuff like that. Well, that's a superpower because I don't have it. I'm working on it, and I would like to be able to grow plants and stuff. And so it's my desire, and for me, I know it's in my genes because my grandmother could grow anything anywhere. She had a garden in the dirt in the middle of the city. My mom can grow anything. My daughter can grow. So I think it skipped me, but I'm going to pull back to it. I'm going to pull it right out of the DNA so that I can grow stuff, because that is a desire that I have had, but it's not a superpower for me. So that might be a superpower for you. Hey, Goddess, thank you for joining. So you think about, what's your superpower? What is it that you are so good at that you didn't even realize? Like, there are people that they were good at cooking. They can really burn, and that. And they cook, better than most people. And so a lot of times these are the things that we don't even recognize within ourselves. And so many times we try to help in ways that we can. Like if you're a person that helps other people, especially if you're watching me, you're probably an empath. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, girl, for sharing. Thank you for sharing. But if you're that person, and you're a person that, you can say you know how to talk to people. Like I talked to this young lady just recently on Facebook. She did a post and we were talking back and forth. And she is a person that she is able to connect with people, on different deeper levels and stuff like that. And so anyway, as she does that, I'm like, oh my God, that is a superpower. And that's something that she's done all her life, but she didn't know that that was a superpower. She didn't know that everybody doesn't do that, and that typically is what a superpower is. It's something that you can do that not everybody else can do. Like with me, I know I can connect with the divine, and it's easy for me, but it's something that I've done all my life since I was a child. I was a healer because my grandmother used to take me to these little churches and bring me up and tell me to lay hands on people and pray for them. I was a little girl, maybe 4 years old, 5, something like that, maybe 3, I don't know. I was a little bit of thing. But I don't remember a whole lot about my childhood, but that was one of the things I did remember, and I knew that this was something I was supposed to do, right? And so there are all kinds of things that you can do, and you're so good at it. And a lot of times we discount those things. Like if you're a good writer, like for me, I'm a good writer, and I actually wanted to be a writer since I got out of high school. But I was discouraged by, the family people that said that you needed to do something so you could have a job because, writing don't always pay. And, and they talked about the starving artist stuff and all of this. And so I didn't do it at that time, because I was heavily influenced, of course, by my parental units. But that is always a skill that I have had for all of these years. Deconstruction advocate. All right. Thank you for joining. And so that's something that's a superpower for me. So I can write. I really can write. I always have been able to do it, and I'm published 3 books already so far. I'm working on, my goal is to get this book that I've been working on published before the end of the year. That is my goal. Whether I'll get it done, I don't know, but I put that goal out there for myself. And then I have another book that I've been working on with other people. It's an anthology. Thank you so much for the gift. It's an anthology, and it is on our grandmothers, because I just told you I had this amazing relationship with my grandmother. Matter of fact, I talked to my other grandmother just the other day because she's still with us. This one I talked to, that's in spirit, but I wanted to write a story, a chapter to honor them, the grandparents. And so I got this idea to bring it out to the world, to other people, so that they can honor their grandmothers. Because I think that will be an amazing book. Because, you got all this stuff going on with everything that's happening. You got Jada Pinkett with her foolishness, and different people with their different, foolishness and stuff. And so we need some things out in the world that are beautiful. So that was one of the things. That's one of the things that I'm working on, using my superpower, which is writing. I'm also, the one I'm finishing now is a short story, a book of short stories, and it's short stories on patients that I've taken care of over the years. Now, of course, before you start thinking about HIPAA and all those things, the names are all changed because I don't remember them, and a lot of the details are different, probably because I either don't remember it or they didn't give them to me. So a lot of it's going to be, it's going to be embellished, but the basic story will be there. And so that is one of the things, because for me, I love the stories. I love the stories. That's why I love doing my podcast. And I love getting on here and just talking to you guys and sharing. And I love for people to share their stories. So I have a wonderful time with that. Goddess is on here, and I interviewed her, and it was an amazing interview. I'm actually going to repost that one again on Facebook, and I'll probably bump it up on YouTube because it was such a good interview, y'all. So if you guys haven't seen it, go to my YouTube channel and go find Goddess's interview, because it's on there. It's on there, but it's 1,000 videos. But I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to post it because it was such an amazing interview, and I had been thinking about some of the interviews that I've done over the years, and a lot of them, they all made an impression on me because I love the stories. If you can tell, I love the stories. I love them so much that I shared my story. I shared my story. And y'all, that's me on the back. I'm about to go hit my blonde back up again. But anyway, I had to share this story because it needed to be told, number one. Number two, people needed to hear it. Thank you so much, girl. People needed to read it, because I know that, you know, from the reviews that I got, people were encouraged. And even if they hadn't been through that same particular thing that I went through, they went through a lot of things that were similar, and they could actually see themselves in this book, which is one of the reasons why I wrote it. And one of the reasons why I know that Spirit nudged me and guided me and channeled this book through me, because I know that people need to know that regardless of what the hell you go through, you can always get back up. And you can also stay in a positive vibration. You can be peace. You can be love, even though, you might have gone through a whole bunch of hell, which I did. But you can still be, a beautiful spirit, and that's one of the things that I love to encourage people to do. And that actually is one of my superpowers, because I love to, share my energy and allow people to tap in so that they can understand that regardless, it doesn't matter. You can heal from anything. You can heal. That's all you need to do is heal you know and so that is one of the things I'm just so excited about that. And so I'm asking y'all, what is y'all superpower? What is the superpower that you have that you didn't realize that you had? You just started trying to figure it out and see, you know, who you were, because that is the journey that I am on. And that's the journey that took me to understanding who I was, just trying to figure out who the hell am I, and what is my magic and what is my purpose on this planet, besides just being here to be a creative or being here to be a mom, which I know that is one of my purposes on here. And actually, that's one of the most amazing things that I am, is a mother. And God has blessed me, and I'm a grandmother now, and hopefully I'll have a few more, but right now I have one. And that's okay. I still have some more kids that are going to be having some babies, so that'd be great. But that I knew is a part of my purpose, is what I came here to do. Oh my gosh, you're 13. I might need to borrow some. Because it looks like we probably will have 3, because my other son and his wife got married February, and they said 3 years they're gonna start having, and they're gonna have 2. But the thing about grandkids that I love is I love my grandchild, because it's like our gift for putting up with our damn kids, for dealing with all that stuff that we dealt with our kids. And many of us went through a lot, especially those of us at a certain age. We went through a lot with our kids. We really did. And so when we get these beautiful little grandkids, especially if they don't have to live with you, because that's a whole nother horse of another color. But but I just love it. So I think about it now. It's like, okay, so many things that were bad things, like when I was growing up. So like I used to get in trouble for talking. Look, you couldn't even understand that though, right? But I used to get in trouble for talking in school, in class, and that really was the only thing I pretty much ever got in trouble for, and I think about it now. Really, when I think about it now, it was really fucking probably racist, really, if you think about it, because a lot of that was when I was doing the integration thing, because I'm old enough where I was integrating the schools. Matter of fact, the year before I started school in Savannah, Georgia, because I started school in Connecticut, and then I went to first grade in Savannah, and that was when they bused us. We were the second year that they were busing. So they bused us like an hour and a half away from our home. It would take us sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to school or get home. Really, to get home was the worst. But to get to school, about an hour and a half to get to school. Right, exactly. See, in mine too. But I got to experience it in 1974, because they didn't integrate all over the town in the 60s. Some of it in the South, some of it we were integrating in the 70s. Like I said, I think we integrated that school in 1973, and I went in 1974. So I remember a lot of that stuff that went down, and some of it was just crazy, but I think about it now. It's like, okay, so that was when they started telling me, I talk too much, but then they told me that at home too. Matter of fact, that was how they used to punish me. They used to make me go to my room and be quiet. And I think about it now, I'm like, that is my damn superpower, because I love to talk. I mean, I have my podcast, which is amazing. I talk to you guys on here, and I'm talking on YouTube right now at the same time. So it's like, that is my superpower. Something that I've done all my life, something I didn't realize was my superpower. And I didn't know, I just didn't know, y'all. I didn't know. Because y'all know, when I was a kid, they used to call me Pollyanna, because I just truly always believed that everything was going to work out as it should. And I didn't stop believing that until I got older, when I started seeing stuff where it wasn't working out. I started seeing things like, oh my God, yes, to express yourself is powerful. Yes, it is. It's like, and I wonder why they tried to shut us down. They tried to shut us down. I don't know what that was about. But when I started diving into it and really, going into like the shadows and stuff, I started diving into it. Then I started realizing that, it was a whole ass conspiracy theory against many of us, especially those of us that operate in the spirit, and those of us that were destined to be in this world, because there were a lot of us, the things that we came through when we were growing up, the things that the superpowers that we had that we didn't realize we had, like a lot of us, for me, I have been claircognizant all my life and I did not realize, because sometimes I just know shit and didn't know how I knew it. There was no way that I could know that particular thing. And so I just realized really just in the last few days that this was a superpower, a gift that I had. Right. Because my strongest clair gift is clairaudience, and it has been. Now I actually operate in all of the gifts, clairsentience, clairvoyance, but my strongest is clairaudience, and I think the next one is probably claircognizant. But I thought it was a different one. But as I started looking at myself and I started looking, really diving and going into, you know, who I am and who I have become, and how I have, walked on this journey, even for all of these, I say decades now, because really it is, because I'm so excited, y'all, to have turned 55 years old. It is an amazing time for me in my life. And even though things are not always what they seem, things are always good. Especially if you look at it in that way, if you put that particular perception on it, or perspective on it. Like for me now, I say every single day that everything is always working out for me. And my intention is to be the best person that I can be today. 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 Now, the thing about that is, what happens to you when you really start to move in ways that Spirit is calling you? And Goddess knows what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But Goddess knows what I'm talking about. You start to move in ways the Spirit is calling you, even despite what other people say to you, what was happening. Because I don't know about nobody else, but I have lost many friends. Many. I never had a whole lot, but I lost probably more than I had. Because we were going in different directions. I was moving toward how Spirit wanted me to move. I wasn't, caught up in the church and in religion and all of this stuff. You got to cut the negative vibes off. You got to do that, because for me, I feel like negativity really brings me down, and it just shifts my whole environment. So I make it a point to stay away from negative people, and then also too, I truly believe that sometimes people are in our life for a season, and I heard that before. Some people are in there for a season, some people have a reason, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's like three different things, but I know that people have a season, a lot of times in our life. Sometimes we want to hold on to people, and especially, like, I'm a Scorpio, so I know that we love hard, and I always have. I'm a person that if I love you, I love you, and I'll be there for you, because that's who I am, and it's always been who I was. I was that kid that, if I had a coat and somebody said they were cold, I would take my coat off and give it to them, one coat. And so I was that kid, So a lot of times when you're that kid, and you grow up, and then you really start to step into this space of where you are leaning and listening to Spirit, and you've got your angels all around you, and you got your ancestors that you're connecting with, and you are in this space where you recognize that the goddesses are with you, and you recognize that you are not alone, because that really is the major thing that I absolutely love, is the fact that I know that I am not alone. And I know that these particular superpowers that I have had all of my life, and all of you have them as well. If you'll just take some time and sit down and think about, what it is that you do, that you love to do, and that's easy for you, and it just flows. And a lot of times we think that everybody else has those gifts. We think that everybody else can do it, even in this world. Because there are things that Goddess does that I don't do. There are things I do she doesn't do. But we're in the same world. We do very similar things. But the thing is everybody has their thing. And then you also have the things that you can do as you go forward, and the things that spirit will call you to do that you didn't even know. And a lot of times spirit will call you to do stuff and you won't even have an idea how to do it. But guess what? If you continue to remain in this space and you continue to listen and you continue to step into meditation and you continue to go outside and get in nature and make sure that you are staying grounded and that you're staying connected to your team, baby, things will be so awesome for you. I mean, it's like it's like it's like Dorothy when she went back home. Okay, so y'all, I just so y'all know, I love movies. Good evening. How are you doing, Winter Wolf Queen? But it's like Dorothy, when she went back home from the Wizard of Oz. She was ready to go back to Kansas. She saw all the different people that she was used to. Y'all, I got these butter pecan cookies and they are so good. So good. I gotta have a piece. But so it was just it's something. After she went through all that, and then she saw her her gifts. She saw all the people that she was with, and then she recognized that she didn't need to go to the Wiz in order to get home. She didn't need it. And all the creatures that went to the Wiz to get different things, he was a fraud. So he couldn't even give it to them no way. So what that meant was they already had all those things that they desired inside of them. The lion already had courage, right? He already had courage. He proved it. The scarecrow already had a brain. Now sometimes we can sometimes we sometimes we can doubt that people already have a brain, but for the purposes of our story here, all the things that they desired were already inside of them. And that is the same thing with all of us. So if it's something that you desire it because it's already inside of you. So really what you have to do is go inside and get it. And a lot of times that is so difficult, y'all. It really is hard for you to go inside and get it. And I truly believe that it doesn't have to be, but I think because of so many of us have limiting beliefs, right? We already have our power within us. Yes. So many of us have those limiting beliefs. And a lot of times, for me, I know it was from religion because I know that so many people, when I was growing up in deep Pentecostal, everything was the devil. And it was like, well, what about God? Does he exist in this matrix? Because everything was the devil. And if you did anything wrong or anything they considered wrong, that was the devil. And they consider things, wrong, like, some of the things that we do, like, I read oracle cards. They consider that wrong, I'm not going to be going to that church every week like that. And they consider that wrong, all kinds of things. And so once you start to see those limiting beliefs and they start to show up for you and you start realizing that they are limiting beliefs, they are not set in stone. Matter of fact, most of them are not even true. A lot of times they're just a bunch of bullshit. So, but you hold on to them and people do that. And then what happens is you stop progressing when you hold on to that. It's like you stay stuck and you stay in this place. And that's why you hear people all the time talking about how they feel stuck, and they are stuck, and they will feel that way until they shift some shit, until they shift some of those limiting beliefs, until they start moving according to what spirit is telling them to do instead of according to what, they learned in the past, you know, and and then there are some things that as you go and as you start to really move and do what it is that spirit is calling you to do, because everybody's not supposed to be, doing what I do, or doing what Goddess does, or doing what any of you do. Everybody has their journey, and everybody has the thing they're supposed to do. They're what do they call it? A destiny. Everybody has a destiny. And so when you start to really walk and you start to really move and you start to really take off the blinders, you start really not looking at all of those limiting beliefs, and you start really releasing them. Because a lot of times, really, sometimes it's just one shift that you need to make. It's like one turn of the wheel, one turn of the dial. And so when we start really, moving, because I noticed that a lot of people, when they start really getting into it, and then they take a step into something that, you know, maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they do believe that numerology is evil, which that's bullshit too, because that's all in the Bible. You got threes, you got sevens, and the numbers mean something. 8 is new beginnings, that kind of stuff. So things mean something. And so we've been dealing with that forever. It's not new. Numerology ain't new. Astrology ain't new. None of that stuff is new. But they vilified it, and they had us thinking that all that stuff was evil. So for me, I had to release those limiting beliefs so that I could open up to be able to receive and be able to understand that. So that's the journey that I'm on. So like, I'm learning a lot of things about that stuff, because to me it was like I couldn't even put it in my head, and I couldn't figure out why. It took me a while to figure out why I couldn't put it in my head. And then once I realized, that was a limiting belief, and it was something that I had carried since childhood, really, probably, then I was able to release it. I did my own rituals. So, you can do your own rituals. You can create your own rituals. Usually you can find some on Google. There are so many things that you can do. But I like to create my own. So I created my own ritual to release those limiting beliefs so that I could get past that and move into the space where I know that I'm supposed to be. Move into the space where I know that, God, the creator, the father, universe, source, whatever it is that you call him, her, or them, because that also is a personal thing. And so when people start arguing about that stuff, what's God's name and all this kind of stuff, I mean, that is really, to me, what it is distraction. It's distraction, because you run around here trying to figure out, what God's name is, instead of trying to have a connection with the source. Instead of having a connection with your spirit team. But you're around here, with semantics, talking about, whether or not God's name is Jehovah, or whether it's Allah, or whether it's Buddha, or whether it's whatever it is that people have issues with. But the thing is my grandmother said something one time, I remember, to this person that was Jehovah's Witness, because they said to my grandma, people don't even know God's name. And my grandma, she was a beautiful spirit, soft spoken like me. And she told this person, she said, but your name is blah, 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 blah. Let's say Joe. Your name is Joe, right? So yeah, so if I call you Joe, will you answer? The person said yes. And so then grandma said, well, if I call you, Billy, because the middle name was Billy, using. So, if I call you Joe Billy, will you answer? Or will I call you Billy? Will you answer? Well, yeah, I'll answer, because, well, if I call you Mr. Jones, will you answer the last name? And, he was like, yeah. And so she said, that's just how God is. It doesn't matter what you call him as long as you call him. And I have remembered that I was probably a teenager when I heard that conversation. So I have remembered that for almost 40 years, and it just because it made that type of impression on me, because it was like everybody running around here talking about, what you call God, but what the hell difference do it make? As long as you call it. As long as you call him or them, or whatever you want to call them. I always tell people, use the God of your own understanding. So if it works for you, it works for you. Nobody else has to understand it. It's you. It's you. It's a personal thing. So super, super excited, y'all. Super, super excited. I have a workshop that I'm doing on Saturday, and it's on Meetup. Matter of fact, I will put the link in the bio when I'm done. But it's on Meetup, and it's about healing from divorce or a breakup. Right. Call on the name in your relationship to my exactly. Whatever it is, to me, as long as you have a relationship. And what I notice is so many people that go to church, and so many of these people that are so judgmental and beating people down, they don't have no relationship with God. They don't have any relationship with their Creator. They go to church, they listen to what the pastor say and all that stuff. And I'm not saying anything against that, because I've been to church as well, many, 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 many years. But they listen to, what somebody's preaching or teaching. They, a lot of times, they don't even go check the Bible to see if that is really what is being said. Yes, because they are to be seen of men. Yes, absolutely. And it's like, no. I mean, you want to have your own relationship with the Creator. You want to have your own relationship with God, with the universe, with the source. Whatever it is, whatever that means to you, you need your own relationship with them, with your team. And know that, yes, it's there for you, right? It is there for you. So I am so excited, and I think about, these superpowers and these things that we can do that maybe somebody else can't do, and I think about the fact that once you really start getting into your relationship with your Creator, and you start really diving deep into that and really sitting with that. And, and I want to also talk a little bit about meditation, because that's another thing. But, I forgot to finish the workshop. So the workshop is, if you are dealing with divorce or, bad breakup or something like that, come and join, because we're just going to talk about that, because I realize that is something that I have, that I can share and that I can talk about, and that a lot of people are dealing with, because I know divorce is at an all-time high. And then, a lot of people, they live together for 10 years and then they have a bad breakup. That's like divorce, really, y'all, if you think about it. And so I'm going to do this workshop. I'm going to have a meditation at the end, which I do on all my workshops. But it's going to be on Zoom. Have it in my Meetup group. My Meetup is on Meetup, but I'll drop the link in the bio once I get off, because this is another class. But this one is Saturday. Is it Saturday? Yeah, this one is Saturday, and it's happening at 12 o'clock Pacific time. It's going to be about an hour and a half. So we'll have time to, share. And if somebody wants to comment or, that kind of stuff, we're going to chat. So we're going to have a good time. So join me on Zoom. This one is free. Like I said, I'll drop the link in the bio so that you guys can come and join, but it's going to be nice. And I know that it's something that a lot of people need. And the reason why I decided to do this workshop was because I had a friend come up to me. I was at an event this weekend. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I was at a 2-day event. So today it's like I had 2 days of peopling. I don't know if y'all people, but I don't really people like that. And it's always a challenge after I finish peopling. So I have to decompress, get myself together, breathe, love on me some, that kind of stuff after I finish peopling like that. So anyway, because I am an introvert that knows how to extrovert. So anyway, she said something to me that was so profound that got me thinking about this. And I was like, okay, I can do this, because I did heal from divorce, like really, after 20 years. And so I wanted to share that and give you an opportunity to come in and, let you know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. But the thing that she shared with me was, I shared with her about how I had decided when I got divorced, I was going to get married again because I was young and I wasn't trying to be alone all my life. It's just not in my cards, I didn't think. So I shared with her that one of the things I asked for when I was talking to Spirit and asking for my husband was a man who loved God. And I said, not religion. I don't need none of them. I'm good with that. But I wanted a man that actually loved God and had a relationship with the Creator. And she said, I shared that with some other people, that are looking. She said, I shared that with some other people. She said, because I thought it was so profound because you asked for a man that loved God. You didn't ask for money or any of that other stuff. Now, there were some things I did ask for underneath that, but that was the first thing that I asked. And the reason why I asked for that is because I felt like if a man loved God, then God would show him how to love me. Because newsflash, y'all, if y'all don't know, we all have our ways that we want to be loved. And we have our ways that people want to love us. Thank you so much, girl. I love you. See you soon. So, we all have our ways. We all have our ways that we want to experience love. We all have our love language. And sometimes it's not one of those 5 love languages just that they have. Because my love language is travel. And my husband knows this. But, we all have them. His love language is touch. And I know that. So I make sure that, I give him love in that way. But that was something that I asked for. I said, I need a man that loves God so that God will teach him how to love me. And so I decided to do this workshop so that I could talk about that. And I could share some of those tips and some of those tools, and we can come together and do a meditation and just be grateful for the space that we are in and be grateful for the space that we are going to, you know? So again, I appreciate all of y'all for popping on. Thank you so much for showing up for me. I will be back on again, probably sometime tomorrow, like in the evening, I think. I'll be back on again. It's going to be amazing. I absolutely love coming on to talk to you guys. I'll open it up and do some guidance probably tomorrow so that, we can go through all that. So again, thank you for hanging out with me. I truly do appreciate your time. I know that you could have been watching anybody else, that you could have been kept on scrolling, but I appreciate y'all being here. And thank you guys for sharing the live out. And thank you guys for showing up. I do appreciate it. I have other stuff happening. Like there is a workshop on awakening your intuition as well. That one is happening, I think, on the 17th, and it's on Eventbrite, and that one is paid. It's not a whole lot, but it's something because I still got to make money too. I'm being a blessing and I'm giving, and I don't have a problem with that. But this is what I do. This is my job, so I gotta make some money too. But again, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you for coming on. Definitely hit that bio and go and subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch some videos for me. Please, ma'am and sir. Because I'm trying to push that YouTube channel into a good space so that more people can see, a lot of the things that I have. I have so many videos and I talk about so many things that are helpful to people. Like this topic that I just talked about, superpowers, because many people don't know, that they have superpowers. A lot of times, everybody wants to be a superhero, of course, but that might not be your particular gift. But it doesn't mean you don't have a gift. Doesn't mean you don't have a superpower. And your superpower can be way different than other people's. So really, it's just that, you want to take some time to explore that and take some time to really dive into that, and really try to understand, who you are and what do you bring to the table and what is your magic, What is your magic? I know people that their magic is taking care of kids. They love to take care of kids and they do it well. Kids love them. That's their magic. Everybody don't have that magic. Some people are mothers and fathers that they ain't need to be mothers and fathers at all. Matter of fact, they need to be a mother or father like they needed a hole in their head. That is not their gift. But many people, are doing it because, you don't have to have a gift in order to have a child. But that's just one example of superpowers. It could be that, you have a gift like my friend where she just has this she has this natural gift to connect with people. You know what I mean? So it's all kinds of things. For me, I realized that I'm claircognizant and I have been forever. I had, sometimes I just know things and don't know how I know them. So I realized that is a superpower that I have had. So it's like, oh my God. So when you start to really step into your gifts and you start really to open up to who you are. Oh, this is one of my favorite songs, y'all. So I love me some jazz, y'all. And this one is Paul Taylor, Pleasure Seeker. That's what's playing right now, if you guys can hear it. But it's such a smooth groove. And that's another one of those other things that I absolutely love to do is to listen to music. I love my jazz. I like classical too. I like a lot of music without words, But I also like, regular music and stuff like that. And I love to sing. That's a superpower that I have had as well. I love to sing. It's one of the things that, makes me feel good. So anyway, again, I'm gonna pop on off because I, got a few other things I want to get done. But definitely I'll be back on tomorrow. Thank you guys for all the likes. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the ice creams and all of those gifts and stuff like that. I really do appreciate it. Y'all don't know, my heart is just so full just for you guys showing up for me. So again, thank you for joining me. Those of you that follow me, I will go follow you back. Let me see. All right. Okay. So thank you so much. Like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow, and going forward, I'll sit down and look at some times and dates that work for me so that I could come on and have these conversations with y'all because I love to do it. And then I also want to offer some guidance and some stuff like that because that is something that I really want to offer. Because I am intuitive and because I am claircognizant and clairaudient and I do have the clairsentience and the clairvoyance as well, which I think that's probably the least one, the one that I'm working to develop even more, clairvoyance. But all the other things, they just come to me and I didn't even know. So again, if that is something that you have or something that you want to explore, you want to reach out to me because I do sessions to help people to explore their gifts and to open up to their spirituality. I also typically it's a healing session that I do. And so we'll talk about your gifts. We'll talk about whatever you want to, because of course you're going to fill out a form. But we'll talk about your gifts, and then we'll also do some healing around some of the limiting beliefs that you have, and even it could be something physical that you're dealing with, and we'll do a healing around that as well. So if that is something that you know lights you up, something that you feel strongly and you want to reach out, send me a message. You can send me a message here on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or fucking LinkedIn even and send me a message. If you're on YouTube, I think my email's in there, so you can email me. So that's something that works for you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope that your day is magical. And I hope to see you in these workshops that I'm doing. The one is this Saturday. And then the other one, I think, is the Friday after it on the 17th. That is the next one. That is going to be the one on awakening your intuition, talking about your spiritual gifts, the same stuff that I'm talking about right now, but I'm going to go deeper into it. And then we'll also have some exercises that I'll be sharing with you that will help you to open up your gifts in your own time. And also, of course, there is always a meditation at the end of most of the workshops that I do. So again, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for joining me. I hope that your day is magical. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out. Bye now.